So Carlos, now that we explained how we're going to completely change the environment in your crawl space, I'd like to talk to you about how we're going to properly insulate your home. So when we look at on how your home was built, we have outside air getting sucked into your house, rises and comes out of your roof exhaust fans out of the top. So during the winter months, we have the extreme cold freezing your pipes, which leads to your copper pipes, your plumbing bust, even your PEX pipes with just being able to bust, because as we know, water expands at 9% and your pipes will eventually blow out, causing you to call the plumber and make sure that this gets taken care of. And then in the summer months, we have that hot, humid air coming in, causing extreme moistures into your floor framing system, which is going to deteriorate, cause mold growth, and other structural damages. So as you can see here, we have a 50% moisture rating, which is significant. Mold is going to grow, and with all that water vapor, all your insulation is going to get saturated with all that moisture. It's going to start to deteriorate, sag, and fall to the ground. And as you can see here, your floor framing system, your joists are extremely wet because most likely your insulation is wet, acting as a sponge, retaining all this water, and your wood is just pulling all that moisture in out of there. And then you can see here the deterioration on your floor framing system. Your insulation is losing its value. It's useless at this point. So there have been a few historical options that contractors have used. Homeowners, hey, let me tackle this, let me try to fix it. And they have failed at it. First of all, maybe there was insulation at one point, it wasn't effective, it was moldy, it was wet, so they took it out and there's nothing there. This is how you're going to experience cold floors. You're going to be running your heater over time. You're going to have high PG&E bills, and it's just uncomfortable in the home. Second is we have this spray foam. Yeah, it makes sense in theory for the right application, maybe against inside your home, against your walls, against the outside, and up in your attic. Down in your crawl space, due to the fact that it's going to act as like a sponge and absorb this moisture, I highly disencourage it, and it's not the place for spray foam to be. Next, we have this XP export. This is something you go get at a local Home Depot, but if it's installed incorrectly, it's going to crack. This material is known to be, it will just deteriorate in time, and if it's not sealed, it's completely ineffective. And last but not least, what's been used since the 1950s is your standard R19 insulation. With this insulation is just old school technology, and like I mentioned before, all that water vapor is going to get absorbed into the insulation, acts like a sponge, oversaturated, causing the wood to draw that moisture in and create and deteriorate and lead to more significant problems. As you can see here, the insulation underneath your floor framing system is starting to sag. No, these aren't rats chewing this up, Carlos, if you were wondering. And you can see here the deterioration and the dry rot is clearly present. So in theory, it makes sense, but it doesn't work. So what can Groundworks do? So our engineering department put together the short video. It's our Aquasteam Extreme block. Let me play this video and explain this in high detail on how this will be installed in your home.
All right.
So when we look at it, step one is we got to remove that old insulation. It might have mold, it's saturated in water, it's just nasty, and it's most likely smelling at this point, which I smelled was pretty bad. As you can see here, our crews, they're all Tyvexed up with respirators, carefully taking everything out. This is physical dirty work, and I don't know if you had insulation on your hand before, it gets really itchy, it tingles your throat for multiple days. Once that's done, we are going to mechanically fasten our extreme block against all around the perimeter of your foundation up to your rim joist, keeping it flush, securely mounted to your foundation wall, and then our crawl seal is going to line up right to it, sealed, preventing creating an airtight sealant. Here we're sealing it up so no air can come in and come out, so that environment in your crawl space is completely closed off from the exterior. Here is a sample of our Extreme Block. It's a closed cell, high duty board that goes all the way around the perimeter. It won't deteriorate. It's lifetime warranty, and will last for many years to come. So Carlos, how does that sound?
This all sounds perfect for me. I just have one question. What does closed cell mean for me?
Closed cell means that it's not going to allow water to come in from either from the outside or from the inside. It's completely solid, so it's not going to be able to absorb that moisture compared to our competitors' low-grade brands.
All right, yeah, that sounds perfect to me.
You want to move forward with the project?
Let's move forward with it.
Sounds good. Thank you, Carlos.